I listened to the 432 hertz frequency for 7 days, and here is what happened. So for those of you who don't know what this 432 hertz frequency is, here's a brief run through. 432 hertz is meant to be the frequency that the universe vibrates at. And listening to it is meant to help you surrender your ego and connect to the universal one consciousness that we all exist as at our core. Now, listening to this frequency for 7 days did a few things that I want to share with you guys today. And one of the first ones was bring out my pain body, which helped me deal with a lot of clarity issues I was having in my shadow work and in what to do next spiritually. So if you're at that state right now, a sense or a lack of clarity, give this video a thumbs up. I want to know how many of you are also struggling with clarity at the moment. Let's see if this is a universal shift. The next big thing it did for me was help me process my shadow work with that clarity and also a lot faster. And then probably the most exciting change was the altered manifestations. The altered manifestation showed me a whole bunch of new information that I want to share with you in today's video, and I can't wait to dive into that. But I'm going to start with the pain body because all of this is a story and it leads to that one pinnacle point. Bringing out the pain body helped me deal with a lot of issues that I've been harboring for a long time. And one of those issues is processing certain issues with connections to people. Now, I speak about this a lot in all of my videos. This world consists of three main things: people, places, and things. My sense of one connectedness and understanding of each other, which I had after my spiritual awakening with an immense amount of clarity, seems to have been dwindling. And I know it's because my ego has been coming back in the shadows to try and interrupt things again. But one of the things that have been bugging me about that is I didn't know where the ego was coming back in. And I couldn't quite see where it was interrupting me. And the biggest realization after listening to this for 7 days was it showed me it was coming back in a patterned response to things, people, and places, but mostly my relationships with others. We all behave in response to things with an egoic pattern. Now, what I mean by that is our ego comes out in this pattern-like response, and it's something that we can almost hit play on, and our body will autopilot our way through it. And it normally starts by an interruption of the emotion that we are trying to experience at a deeper level, or something that we want to ram up. Maybe it's a good feeling of being in love with your crush, but then you have to go to work. You know, that interruption, and we have this patterned emotional response to things. And that was what it showed me in my pain body. Now, what I mean by pain body is the version of self that is linked to ego. It's also linked to a sense of fear, because the ego's main roots are in fear. And one thing that helps amp up fear, so going in the wrong direction, is a sense of individuality, your oneness, your loneliness within self. And that's what's going to amp up the fear, helping the ego come back. Now, 432 hertz being the frequency of the oneness of the universe and the collective consciousness, I feel helped me pull out of that single experience where the pain body was growing and the discomfort and ego was starting to come through. But like I was saying, clarity has been a big issue for me. So knowing that ego comes back is one thing that we all go through. But how do we actually work on it if we don't know where it's coming back? A lot of people will tell you you can meditate, and I'm definitely an advocate for meditation. But one thing you can include in your daily life without having to go and sit in a safe zone, hoping that there aren't going to be any interruptions or anything like that, is to try and listen to this frequency. I found a playlist on Apple Music. You guys can go and see it in the description. I've listed it over there. This playlist has multiple tracks of the 432 hertz being played with music, and I've just been playing it to myself while driving. It's kind of like a conscious walking meditation. By that I mean, I'm still living my normal life. I'm driving my car and I'm just allowing myself to listen to this instead of music or a podcast. And what I found in that was a deep-seated sense of presence and awareness. Now, for those of you who have been on a spiritual journey in some shape or form, will know that the only time you really feel a good sense of presence or awareness is when you feel connected to that one consciousness. So that's something I can definitely tell you happened by listening to this frequency. And in bringing out that pain body, it showed me a lot without being attached to the emotional patterned response I was telling you about. It showed me what that pain body was without the identity being stuck on that pain body. It showed me the issue with me being more linked to my authentic spiritual self. And the reason that helped provide clarity was I didn't feel this emotional connection to defend this egoic system growing back inside of my experience. And what that will naturally help you do is process the shadow better, because clarity allows you to see what's there. And this is why they call it shadow work, because it's in the dark. It's not very easy and clear to see. So I found that I was processing my shadow work a lot better. The ego interruptions were a lot clearer for me, and then dealing with it became easier. And one of the biggest places, like I said, was in relationships with people. And in my relationship with my girlfriend, things have been a bit tense lately because this year has been so crazy, and I'm sure it's not just for me, it's probably for you as well. So for those of you who it has been crazy for, let me know in the comment section what was really crazy about this year. I'd love to chat with you about it and share some spiritual insights with one another. For those of you who don't know, I reply to every single comment on every one of my videos personally. I end up having huge long conversations with a bunch of people, so I'd love to chat with all of you seeing this right now. Tell me how this year has been absolutely manic and crazy for you. But in this craziness, what it did was bring out a lot of problems in my relationship, and a lot of those problems were not super clear. But listening to this over the last week has really helped me define the issues I've been having, like a deep sense of expectations of my partner to do certain things. It's been a lot of frustration for me because I haven't had this clarity on what's been causing the issues. But listening to this for the last week has done amazing things. It's helped me see that a lot of the issues are in me and it's my own expectations. So naturally, the clarity is going to help you deal with your shadow work, help you release the ego, which is one of the things the frequency is meant to do. And I can definitely tell you it's helped with that on a crazy level that I didn't expect at all. But getting on to the most interesting part that I want to share with you guys were the altered manifestations. Now, we are manifesting 24/7. We do not manifest. Everything around us is a reflection of our internal state of being. So if we are at an emotional high, everything around us is going to reflect this emotional high. And if we are at an emotional low, then the reflection is going to show that as well. So if all of this is making sense so far and you don't want to miss another upload, make sure to hit that subscribe button and you won't miss out on any new videos that I release. Now, things shifting in my space has happened quite rapidly. In fact, today, one of the biggest things that I tackled was the cluster in my room. For example, I have a whole bunch of stuff in my chest of drawers that I haven't dealt with since moving houses, and that was a while ago. It's all of those little things that have been piling up over time that I dealt with today. And I don't know what pulled me into doing it, but it must have something to do with this change and shift in shadow work and dealing with my problems. The whole decluttering thing. That is a manifestation change, but more specifically, just in how people have been responding to me. There's been a lot more calmness and a lot more clarity in what people want to share with me or want to talk about. And gaining more clarity has definitely been the overarching theme while listening to this frequency. So in that shift of manifestations, people have been treating me differently. I've also had certain friends pop up recently that have been sending me messages who normally don't reach out, or I have to reach out for. And they've been reaching out to me, just asking how I've been doing, just wanting to catch up. And that's something I found really interesting, was that in dealing with these shadows, certain connections are coming back to life. It's highlighted really important points for me that I want to share with you in my manifestation journey. Now, these three things happened with these altered manifestations that I want to share with you to not only help you with your manifestation journey, but just to help reconnect with certain points that I think the universe really wants us all to connect with again. The first one was that we are always supported. Now, by that I mean we are never alone in our pursuits to make life better, to have better connections, to feel better emotionally, to have a better life, more freedom, more peace. We are supported in that process. We are not left to our own devices to figure it out. And the only place that we have to do is go into that centered sense of awareness and presence. The next message is we're not alone. We are all sharing this experience together as one consciousness, being divided into individual perspectives. And what's really important about that is that there is never a time where you have to feel stuck and alone. There is no real individuality. We always have access to the communal energy, and we can follow that and find that by trusting in the feeling that we get when our imagination creates a great or good scenario. Trust in that feeling and act on that energy, and that will lead you to that sense of feeling connected again, and that loneliness can fall away. The last big realization was to let go of fear. Let go of the thing interrupting your spiritual growth. Your ego feeds off of the things you fear. and your mind cannot distinguish between a real threat or a perceived threat. So if your imagination conjures up a scenario in where you're left with the shit end of the stick, your mind is creating that whole thing and actually feeding your ego the fear that is generated in that imaginary scenario. So let go of the thing interrupting your spiritual peace. Allow yourself to find that centeredness again, and tell me in the comments, what do you want me to cover next? Do you want me to do another frequency test? Would you like me to share some more stuff like that? I want to hear from you. What would be valuable to you on this channel? I can't wait to chat to more of you down there. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I will see you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Mad love and light.